Hey y'all, it's your girl Stae Hall, and as you can see, I am not alone today. And it is so awesome to be able to be surrounded by a true sister circle, and this is a portion of mine. It takes a village, and everyone needs to have their tribe. So y'all say hey to my tribe.
Hey, tribe. Oh, we the tribe?
Yeah. Everybody's a part of the tribe, the life tribe. So since it's come up, that's a great segue to whoever is on now. Please hit me with that hashtag lifer. You know I love my lifer tribe. So y'all throw that hashtag lifer in there. And today we are going to be talking about friendship, but from a different perspective than normal. And so this is kind of our annual sister circle where we get together. And so we missed last year due to COVID, but the year prior, we talked about authentic relationships and what friendship looks like to each one of us. And it was a wonderful, wonderful conversation. And so I thought this year, maybe we would do something a little bit different and talk about ourselves as a friend. Because normally when we talk about friends, we're talking about the other person, but we never really talk about how we see ourselves as a friend. Mm-hmm. So today's topic is, what kind of friend are you? Mm-hmm. And so we're just going to talk about that. How do you see yourself as a friend, or what is your idea of what other people's perception of you as a friend? Because so much, or so many times I should say, the way we see ourselves is not at all how people see ourselves. Right. You know what I mean? We think, but I'm so nice and but maybe you're not. Or, or we think I'm so mean, because I used to be me. I used to think I was so mean. Like I really told myself that. And then people were like, you were not mean. And I'm like, well, I feel like I'm mean. But then I realized too, it's about the words we choose, because I'm not mean, I'm direct. Mm-hmm. And so there is a difference. So we are just gonna talk about what kind of friend we are. I'm starting with you, Miss Jody.
Wow.
What kind of friend are you?
Wow. Well, I think I'm loyal to a fault sometimes, right? I'm very, very loyal. If you got me, you got me. I am your friend, right? I'm talking to y'all too.
Yeah, you can talk to them. Talk to them.
Right? So when you got me, you got me. I love hard. Mm-hmm. Real hard. But if I see somebody that's not loving hard like me, I used to stay in it, but now I'm out, right? Because I owe it to myself, right, to be happy, to be stress-free, to live my best life. And you get what you get with me. Anybody who know me know that I've been this way all my life. Like from a toddler, I think I came out the womb acting up, right? and I just like happiness. I like joy. I don't like drama. If I'm in a drama situation, I flee because I hate drama. Because when you love your friends, you love your friends, and your friends love you. And if I see somebody that's like in a friendship, and this person is supposed to be they dog, they best friend, they ride or die, right? And then they talk bad about that person.
That's right. Yeah, that's not a friend at all.
It's something off. I don't choose to be around that type of person anymore. If I see that that's supposed to be they ride or die, and they
because that's the thing for me, right? I love that you said that, because if you're going to do this to this person, that's your friend. That's your good friend, and you and I are associates, then I think we kind of talked about this yesterday. Then how are you going to treat me?
Exactly.
And I know everybody doesn't treat everybody the same. I mean, we're different and we connect in different ways. But if I just see you being straight up ratchet behind this person's back, being a total hypocrite, two-faced then even though I'm not your victim now, I'm going to have to protect myself from that. So now, Iman, I want to talk to you because we have my baby girl, my god baby, on with us today, and clearly you can tell that she's not of our generation. She's just a little younger. And so I thought that was an awesome dynamic, and we were talking about that a little bit off camera to have you here and your perspective. And so, how do you see yourself as a friend?
I think I'm the non-judgmental friend. Like you can come to me whatever you have and whatever's going on, and I won't judge. Like I'll just give you my best perspective. I think me and most of my friends are that way, honestly. Like we love to it's a family, especially because none of us, we're all transplants where I live. So none of our families like right. So we have a lot of like love.
Rely on each other.
Right.
Right.
We have a lot of, what else do we do?
You a mama bear. No.
Oh, you're a
They do
protector.
call me
and
the mama
Yeah.
bear, yeah.
Yeah.
I do
Come
like
to her for everything.
Yeah, I do like to make sure I just give them the best advice I can. I like to take advice as well because I like different perspectives from my friends because I have friends kind of all around the board. I wish some of them was here.
That would be cool.
I have a lot of
Yeah.
friends across the board because I'm in Atlanta. It's a melting pot.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm a mom and a rebel.
A
Both.
mom and a rebel.
So, yeah.
With no real kids.
No real kids.
Nope.
See, for me, I know I am definitely not a nurturing friend at all. I'm not ever going to be the woo woo woo. I'm not. And I used to say, again, I was so hard on myself, I would call myself a bad friend. And I am an awesome friend. But I am never going to call you just to check on you. Like, never. Like, it's just, I'll call if there's something I want to say. I'm going to call because I don't think anything of it. Like, I don't have to hear from you for weeks at a time. And I don't think anything of it. Like,
my
it's
mom
not.
was just talking about that, like friends that you don't have to talk to every
Right,
day.
and still
My
pick
best
up where you
friend, I don't
left
talk
off.
to her.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to her all this week, but
Right.
she's been my best friend since I was 18.
Mhm.
Yeah, like we're not going nowhere.
Right.
Stop.
Exactly. And that's just not me. But I'm also definitely ride or die. I'm going to shoot straight from the hip. I'm with you. Whatever's going on, you can call me anytime, day or night. And I also am not ever going to be offended if I'm not hearing from you. Like, I feel like I'm just very easy to be friends with, right?
Right.
I've had a
'Cause I
friend
don't
come to me
require
with that,
much.
though, before.
Really?
Like, they were, when I got in a relationship, remember? Actually, friends and family, they were like, you don't have enough time for us anymore. You're not there the way we are. So they were like, oh, I have to distance myself. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I got in a
yeah.
relationship.
Yeah.
I've been single 5-6 years. You had all my attention.
Yeah.
But that's not
I've
a
lost
friend.
some friends
That's
after
not
that.
a friend. You know, when
I
you
think
do
it
that-
still may be a friend.
But
It's just
the dynamic.
it's just the
Right.
dynamics of the
The
friendship
friendship
had to
should change.
change.
Yes.
And maybe they were not ready for that. And to go back to what you said, I know you said that you're not a nurturer, but I think it's relative to that person, because if your friend is more of a needy friend, maybe that's what they need from you.
Right.
Like for me, I feel like, yeah, you're a nurturer, but it's a different type of nurturing. It's not you still do everything is going to be all right. You still
Yes,
offer those
yeah.
words of encouragement. To me, that's nurturing.
Mhm.
It just
Yeah, I see what
depends.
you're
It's
saying.
Right.
relative to who is receiving the information.
Right.
Because you may not call it nurturing because it's not the
Right.
the person in your bosom, but to the
Not your
other
bosom.
You know, for
but
instance,
the other
what she
person
did
it may be.
for you today, for your
Right,
birthday,
right.
To me, that's nurturing.
That's very
right?
nurturing.
To have that outside when I came up, I felt so good. You know, I was like, wow, how sweet. of
Yeah,
Stae.
yeah.
So you don't see yourself as that
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it's more about I'm not affectionate at all. And I'm not, just the warm and fuzzy all the time. So yeah, I'm more of I do things,
Right.
It's acts of service. I do things and gifts and whatever. So it's not always going to be
Love
with just
language.
that call. Hey, how are you doing? I was thinking about you, or, the hug. So yeah, it's just that's who
But
I
your
am.
friend-
That is so
Feel
funny.
it.
I was
Feel
about
the
to say, it's so
nurturing
funny
part,
how
right?
you see yourself.
Right.
And immediately
Yeah.
when you meet, when I don't mean meet for the first time, when you're greeting someone, your arms are like this.
No, meet for the
Yeah.
first time. Like
Even
honestly,
that,
when I met
yeah.
you the first time, you were just that welcoming. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, like yesterday,
Right.
I met this baby for the first time yesterday. Immediately she came into my arm.
Right.
And it felt like I had been with her forever.
Right.
Right.
So
Right.
sometimes we don't realize that we are much more loving and kinder than we
Yeah.
receive.
And see, for me, it's been an evolution because Vonda's my oldest friend here. So I've known Vonda since I was in my early 20s. And she can, I'm sure, remember a time when I wouldn't hug anybody. So that's new for me. And so I'm still in my head kind of stuck in some ways, but I do see that I've changed. But I was a lot more rigid. Like it would freak me out if somebody wanted to come and hug me. And I forget, like, yeah, I'm not like that.
Yeah.
So,
So when you say not nurturing, I'm like,
Yeah, but I'm sure there's certain things that I'll say that y'all maybe never witnessed, but she's like, oh yeah, she probably,
She
Yeah.
did do that.
yeah. It's almost like
Yeah.
what we used to say. You're acting just like a man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you think like a dude.
Yeah,
you know what I
that
mean?
masculine
Yeah.
energy.
But I
comes
grew
out.
up.
Yeah.
I grew up in a family that didn't touch.
Right.
So, and I didn't hear the words "I love you," but we were shown "I love you," but we didn't touch. So, as an adult, I'm like, I didn't even want to hold my husband's hand. I'm like, this is not what I do.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean I don't love you, but I don't understand the touching part of
Yeah.
it. And I did have to get around the right circle of people. I had to get in the right church and get rooted to understand that all touch is not bad touch.
Mhm.
But then my anxiety would shoot through the roof. I'm like, why are these people hugging me? So I used to play a trick with him. I was like, if I go ahead and hug him, it'll get over. Because it was almost like they would hold you longer. I'm so I'm gonna go in first.
I'm gonna set the stage. Yes, I'm gonna be in control.
It's I
Yes.
like those love languages, you know.
Yeah.
the
Yes,
love
yes,
languages,
exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Everybody has a different love language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some
absolutely.
people like to be
Friends,
touched,
relationships.
some don't.
Yeah.
Mine is like acts of kindness.
Yeah.
Or whatever, you
Yeah.
know. So everybody has a different love language. It
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
mean that you're any less or any better or whatever.
Yeah.
We just are different people.
And as friends, you need to take the time to understand what your friends love.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I never really
Absolutely.
thought about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Figuring out my friends'
Yeah.
love language.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When
'cause
you
it's-
said that you had moved into a different circle of friends and the family, and that last group couldn't understand, like, you left me. But what happens, I think, and I think Adrian can contest this, we had a friend who separated themselves, not on purpose, but they had to leave what they felt was the group. And because they did that, I know I felt like I was mourning. Like I literally was I not miserable? I was miserable
Wow.
every day. My heart was hurt. I'm like, what do you mean you abandoned me? And I'm literally tears flowing.
Mhm.
And this person is like, I just got to get myself together.
Mhm.
So I think a lot of times we are not considerate of what the other person is going through.
Right.
You just know it was almost like a death for me.
Mhm.
Right.
I'm not lying, but
That's true.
I thought I was going
It
crazy.
was like,
Right.
And not
lady.
communicating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not communicating it with each other.
Right.
Like, you don't
Right.
know what you're really feeling, what you're really thinking. And you're
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna
And I
back
think
off
that's
and
what it was
then
in this situation. The other person wasn't, I mean, they were saying superficial things, but when you're friends with someone so long, you know, it's just that superficial. So I need,
the group.
in this case, she probably needed her to say before she said it,
Right.
like, listen, we're still good. I just need to get myself together with this.
Right.
But she wasn't articulating that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what V did was internalize it to the 10th degree.
Right.
She made it about, oh my
Right.
gosh, you're leaving me.
Right. Right. What did I do?
And as,
Right.
Yeah.
What
as
did I
much as
do?
I could say,
Yeah.
no, that's not what it is. It would, the more I said, that's not what it is. V was, and I didn't know what it was at the time.
Right.
And V would say, yeah, that's what it is.
Right.
and because I would also see her happy with another group of people.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, we was just good.
Yeah,
What happened?
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Like, why
That
are you
was
leaving
key.
me?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But
that
you
was
got to
key.
let them do what. But hey, y'all, we're gonna take a real, not a break, but my sister's watching y'all. Say hi, Margo. And she made a comment and said, she loves that I have such.
Oh, Margo.
Don't you do it.
Oh, so you're not
Don't
warm
you
and
do
fuzzy?
it.
Right.
She's not warm and fuzzy, Margo, but there are tears over here.
Not warm and fuzzy at all. Never
I'm
a
not.
tissue.
You need to move down some, ma'am. Yeah, but she was just saying she loves that I have such long-standing friendships.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
So, yeah, I just thought that was sweet. Hey, girl. But yeah, so we, I'm sorry, I just wanted to make sure because I don't know how long she could be on. So I
Mhm.
definitely wanted to
Yeah.
stop and say hey and acknowledge her comment. But Adrian, what type of friend do you see yourself as?
So I see myself as a friend who I can be hard, but I also see myself as very loyal, even on Mad Day. And what I call even on Mad Day, even when we're no longer in that same space that you're not going to hear me discuss what we had going on as far as your personal business, anything like that. And I'm definitely not going to allow anyone else
Right.
to talk about you
Yeah.
at all, even on Mad Day. And the Mad Day could be 2 months, it could be 2 days, it could be 2 years,
Mhm.
but not even on Mad Day.
Right.
You're not going to hear it.
Right.
I oftentimes find myself trying to, make everything all right.
Mhm.
And then sometimes you have to say, oh, well, wait a minute. Is it being reciprocated?
Right.
You know,
Right.
trying to do,
Right.
okay, maybe you need to soften up a little bit. Maybe you need to do this. Okay, you're doing that, but then you don't feel appreciated or grateful, even if it's just your own imagination. You know what I mean? That perception.
Yeah.
I need to back off.
Mhm.
We're still cool. We're still
Mhm.
good. I still love you, but I need to back off.
Mhm.
And I have to realize too, sometimes the other person, putting yourself to the side, maybe they have, somebody mentioned abandonment issues that may be in their childhood, maybe
Mhm.
experiences they had. And then people visit stuff on you
That isn't
that
anything
really
like
isn't you. And I'm sure I've done that too.
Mhm.
That really isn't about you,
Mhm.
but because sometimes the person that's closest to you can affect it, you the most.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, you can take it. You're the stern one.
Right.
You're the strong one.
Yeah.
You can handle this. Well,
Mhm.
actually, I can't.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would love to. I think I am. I've had other people to tell me that I'm loyal. So it's not just. I hope it's not just coming from me. I've had
No,
people
I
to.
can-
I appreciate that. That I'm loyal and I have a vault.
Mhm.
That if that's something, we're not friends anymore. We're not in that space anymore. You shouldn't discuss somebody else's
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
Right.
Confidence is
Yeah, that
confidence, no
confidence
matter
to
what.
me
It's not a
is very
contingency.
important, and I
Mhm.
need you to be that same ride or die,
Right.
even though we're not ride or die
Exactly.
when it's mixed company.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I wouldn't ever allow someone else to speak on another friend.
And I
Yeah.
agree with you on that
Mhm.
because I've had a friend who I consider a really good friend, that was my ride or die, to tell something on me, right?
Yeah.
But even in the midst, and I couldn't see her in the same light anymore, right? Because now
Right.
you are my person.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah,
can't
yeah.
trust you anymore.
Yeah.
So all we have to talk about now is the weather. I
Yeah,
cannot
yeah.
trust
Ain't no
you.
Yeah.
never forget it.
But even though she did that to me, I told her, guess what? I'm still taking your stuff to the grave.
Yeah.
No matter
Oh,
how you
absolutely.
did me, I will not do that to you.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, that's very important.
Vonda, what kind of friend do you see yourself
You would come to me next.
Yeah.
I would say the same thing, loyal. I care a lot about anybody that I love.
Mhm.
Let's see.
That's true.
Giving.
Yeah.
She'll give her
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
jacket, everything.
Yeah.
You said the jacket.
The jacket.
Yeah,
The
I
shoes,
do
the
that.
earrings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. The whole
Right.
9 yards.
Yeah, you did it.
And I probably am loyal to a fault. The same
Mhm.
thing, and I definitely believe in keeping your people's confidence. Like
Mhm.
never sharing, no matter
Mhm.
if you talked to them yesterday, a week ago, a month ago,
Absolutely.
a year ago.
Mhm.
And I think all of my friends are friends where I may not talk to them every day, but when we do talk, it's like we just
Pick up.
Pick it
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
I think, when we say loyal to a fault, I would just like for us to not normalize that,
Yeah.
because the loyalty to a fault means, well, I'm loyal, but I really shouldn't have been loyal to that person because it was
But
to
some
a fault, to
people
your detriment, so to speak.
Right.
Some people you realize later that it was.
Right, but that
Right.
experience was, to me, that experience was there for a reason.
Okay.
Maybe you were
Everything happens
supposed
for a
to
reason.
go through that
Mhm.
experience.
Yeah.
So it wasn't to a fault,
That's
it was
true.
just part of your
That's
life
true.
journey.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So, and I know we use that phrase. I've used that phrase,
Mhm.
loyal to a fault.
Mhm.
But the loyalty was supposed to be there at that time
Right.
through that experience.
Mhm.
But now that maybe my relationship with you has changed, I don't
You feel
regret being loyal to you
That's
at
true.
that time.
That's true.
So what, for me, it wasn't to a fault.
See,
Yeah.
I have an
Right.
experience though where I feel like I was loyal to a fault. Like I
Mhm.
see what you're
Right.
saying, but this is the
Mhm.
reason why I say mine was loyal to a fault. So I'm friends with this one person,
Mhm.
and they're having issues with another person who's kind of a mutual friend,
Mhm.
but she's not my friend like you're my friend. Like I only know her because of you.
Mhm.
And so my loyalty, when she was having problems with this person and telling me all the stuff that this person had done to her, I'm just like, oh, well, I'm not fooling with her
Mhm.
anymore at all. Like, cause you're my girl and if she's doing it, kind of like we were talking about before, you know, so
Mhm.
how would she be with me? And even if it's not about me, I'm not gonna ride for somebody who's treating my friend like that.
Right.
And so, and I used to talk to this person, I literally just stopped talking to them, period, done. And then next thing I know, now y'all friends,
Mhm.
but don't nobody like me. And I'm like, really?
How did that happen?
And I
Yeah,
felt so stupid. I'm
Yeah.
like, because then but again, to your point though, there was a lesson in there because that made me realize now that neither one of y'all were my friends. So my
Exactly.
loyalty at least helped me shed both of you.
Yeah.
Right.
But I just felt like to a fault because at first I'm like, I'm wondering if this girl even did all that stuff now. Because if she really did all that stuff you told me, how is that your friend?
Yeah, yeah.
Again, so I just don't know. So I left them both alone, but I did feel kind of bad because I'm like, here I am now not speaking to this woman or whatever before what she did to you. And so I'm looking crazy.
Mhm.
So that's why I felt like it was to a fault. But again, I learned the lesson and shedded some relationships that I didn't need in my
Right,
life anymore.
right.
So,
They weren't
Yeah.
supposed to be in your life.
At
No.
that time.
Yeah.
right.
At that time.
Mhm.
Or the next time.
Mhm.
You know, the next journey, maybe
The
you
next
do
journey.
have to change the circle.
Mhm.
Right.
So at that time, yeah,
Mhm.
it was okay. But
Mhm.
now you're going in a different place.
Right.
Mhm.
And that's okay for both
Right.
you and the other person.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 So how do you see yourself as a friend, Miss Veronica?
I've sat here and I listened to a lot, and I, trying to analyze who I am in the midst of that makes me remember my 30-year-old self as a friend.
Mhm.
And I was a completely different friend. Unlike you, I had children trying to figure it out, a husband. So I'm not really sure I had time for friends.
Mhm.
So I was thankful for those friends that I could pick up. I hadn't talked to you in a while, and we could rekindle, and then I could get right back on my grind. But now as I've matured, that's what we're going to call it, y'all.
Now that I'm more seasoned.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna put some turkey bones up in it. Anyway, I know that I am I'm definitely, how do I say? I'm going to fight harder for our friendship now than I would have been.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I feel that there's something off, I probably will. And AJ, if you don't mind,
Go ahead.
I'm not gonna go deep, but
No, go
so
ahead.
AJ and I kind of got off kilter a little bit,
Mhm.
and she knew and I knew.
Mhm.
But because we don't work together every day, we don't see each other every day like we
Anymore.
used to. Like when we were working together every day, we would have squashed it because we used to get in arguments at Verizon, and then she'd throw something at me, and we'd be right back. But because she was at home, so it went by a couple of days, and my spirit don't sit right.
Mhm.
And that's what I love about this journey that I've been on in life, because God is just like, get on up, act right.
Right.
So I called on the phone. I was like, look, and this is how the conversation, look, this ain't gonna keep going on like this. What's wrong with you? Now, never mind now what's wrong with me. What's wrong with you?
Because there's nothing wrong with you.
Right. I ain't the one.
You
Right. You
Clearly.
do this together.
Yeah, surely it's not me.
Right. Look, no, I forgive you.
But I do believe that if I'm vested in you, I am fully
Absolutely.
vested in you.
Right.
And even though we both need a cooling off period, because I know that this thing that I have in my mouth can be very dangerous
Same.
sometimes. So I know how to back away. I've matured to know how to back away sometimes. But then I'm going to come back and I'm going to be like, look, and I'm not going to say to you, hey, I love you. But the words that I'm going to articulate to you, like, hey, look, what's wrong with you? Says to you, I love you.
Right.
I love you. Like,
you feel.
like,
But okay,
Yeah.
so what do you do if pride gets in the way? Like if you have somebody you know you care about.
Pride did get in the
and
way
they're
for a
acting
couple of
funny,
days.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, but that,
So you have to be blunt.
but I think the pride getting in the way was what kept us from talking for a couple of days.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But then you let it go.
Mhm.
See,
Right.
when we were working together, it was a little easier because also you didn't need people getting in your business.
Right.
So when we go home, nobody really knew about it. But at work, people watching like, oh, AJ ain't talking to Veronica.
Something's
So
wrong.
it was easy for AJ to throw something at me. I know I got to act right and turn around and be like, what? What you want?
Right.
And then we bounce right back.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, really, that wasn't healthy for us either because we never really discussed
What's
that.
up?
root of the problem.
Exactly.
Now at least we're
Right.
mature enough to respect each other and love each other enough on a friendship level to fix the problem,
Right.
so that
And
we
talk about
later
it.
we're not
Good,
peeling
bad,
back
ugly.
all these onion
Right.
layers of
That's
onions.
right.
Because,
Yeah.
right, because that's what happens. I think it was Wallace. Somebody said yesterday, the initial fight that you're having for the first 30 minutes, I think it was Wallace.
It was Wallace.
You know, it's not about anything. It's all that other stuff that happened beneath it.
Mhm.
Right.
So I think the great thing about maturing into to who we are, settling in with God, getting a better relationship with Him. He helps us to release the layers as we go,
Right.
so that now I'm not dealing with a whole bunch of old crap.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know what kind of friend I am. I'm just there.
All of that.
No, you said a
All
lot.
of
That,
that.
I'm just the friend who says you need to get your act together.
Right. You get it together. I'm good.
You need to be more like me.
Your maturity level. You know, we
Oh,
grow
yeah.
and we
Oh, yeah.
mature, and you know, things that we did before we don't do anymore.
Right.
We
Yeah.
talk about it, right? Because I'm that friend that I want you to tell me if I'm doing something wrong.
Right.
Please tell me I'm not going to get upset. You know,
Mhm.
there's some people that don't want to hear the truth.
Right.
I want to hear the truth, because if you don't know if you're doing something unless somebody tells you, right?
Right.
So, because in your mind, you're thinking I'm good.
Mhm.
I don't, like you
And
said,
you may
somebody
be,
to
but
be
it's
honest.
just about that whatever it is just might not be right for them.
Right.
And so that's the thing too. We have to kind of, in friendships have that ability to be a little bit of a chameleon, right?
Mhm.
Because you do, when you really do love somebody and you're invested in the friendship, like one of my biggest pet peeves, and when I hear people say, well, that's just how I am.
Yeah.
Like, well, change it. Like it
Right.
is for
Yeah.
me. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not telling you don't be you, but if I say, when you say this to me, it makes me
bothers me.
feel
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
well, I say that all the time. That's just how I am. I say that to everybody.
Yeah.
But you don't care enough about me just not to say it to
Mhm.
me.
Right.
I'm not saying you're a horrible person because that's how you talk. It just makes me, because we all have triggers. I mean, maybe that's something I grew up hearing that affected me, or
Mhm.
whatever. Like that's a pretty light one, but you know what I mean?
Mhm.
You just have to, you need to be able to have that empathy
right.
for your friends. Now, if it's constant, don't do this, don't do that. Well, I hate when you do that. That's a different thing. But if they really come to you in love and just say, hey, when you do this, it really bothers me.
Right.
That's just how I am. That's like a slap in the face.
In other words, I'm not changing anything.
Exactly.
Right.
I don't care how it
Yeah.
makes you feel. It's crazy. Hey, y'all, I forgot to ask too. Would y'all mind sharing our video on your social media page?
What do
I was trying, but my
what do I
phone
do?
died.
Go to them.
Okay.
Just go to your page,
But I
to
shared
my
a few.
page, and then just share.
Okay.
And
let me
then
go
for
right
the people
fast.
watching, you guys, my
Okay.
Lifer Tribe, please share the video.
Let me go.
Comment. I'm usually better with saying that, but I'm acting funny because I'm with my friends, doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But y'all know the drill. I appreciate you guys so much. And hopefully, what we're talking about is adding value, because we're not doing this just to say, hey, we're here talking to each other. We really do want to be able to add some value, because friendships are not as easy or as difficult, I don't think, as we make them a lot of times, because friendships do need to be nurtured and cultivated. They're important.
Mhm.
We were
Absolutely.
talking about that earlier, and I feel like especially for women, especially for Black women, we need the outlet. We were talking about that this morning, cooking breakfast, people to be able to bounce things off of, to vent to, people who have shared experiences that we have. I mean, we need that. It's like, no matter, whether you're married, single, you have children, parents, whatever it is, there's still nothing like a good girlfriend, and especially, for those of us who may not even have a sister, or, like I only have one sister and she doesn't live here, and I can't dump everything on her, so it's like, because no one knows what we go through. It's better than somebody just like us,
Right.
So I love that. So I'm hoping that, if you just go to my page.
I did.
No.
I don't even see
We
it.
haven't people. Oh.
It's not even bouncing off.
Did you see
Wow.
it on yours?
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
share it.
we can.
Yeah, me
Well,
too.
my producer just texted me and told me to do that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But anyway, so with all of us being friends, and so we talked about how we see ourselves as friends. Do we agree with what we've said? Or what we kind of talked about, y'all don't see me the same way I see myself.
No.
So
Yeah.
But we
On
do
the
see-
nurturing part, I don't see
Right.
that you're not nurturing.
have we been accurate, do you think, though, for the most part?
I of course only been knowing Jody for less than 2 years now, and from what I see, accurate.
Yeah.
Vonda for sure.
Yeah.
Accurate. Yours, of course, I've already mentioned my part that I think it's just a play on the word.
Right.
You may
Yeah,
not think
I
it's nurturing.
definitely
Yeah.
get that. Yeah.
And for Iman, I can see that being that mother just this morning. And I don't know if it's out of respect for the fact that we're more mature, but the fact that you stepped in, we asked for something to drink, and you just, I'll get it,
Mhm.
I don't know if it's that, but I can see that motherly, nurturing. I'll take care of it for you.
Well,
so that
remember
you don't
how
have
even
to.
when we were all at Funk Fest?
Yes. Yes.
She was taking care of everybody.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go get it. I'll carry this. I'll get this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I'm sure you old ladies can't carry a heavy bag.
I wish I had fun.
You know.
I just want to always make sure
She
I got
loves
Exactly.
to enjoy herself.
Exactly.
That's what she's
Yeah.
always
And-
like. I just want you to enjoy yourself.
Yeah. And I love that.
Yeah.
And definitely, of course, everything you said was right on the money. And I really appreciate for Veronica, not that I don't for anyone else, but her vulnerability.
Yes.
Yes. Your
'Cause that's a self
willingness to be vulnerable, and it doesn't matter. You're going to get this piece of me. Now, to your point, the maturity, maybe the piece of me 5-6 years ago, maybe not so much you wanted to get.
Yeah.
But
5 years ago, y'all done threw me in the trash.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah. But definitely
But
accurate,
it's
right on
something that
point.
it's growth. Like
It
is. You don't even realize it's happening to you.
It is.
As you're going through each stage of your life, and you're like, wow, like
Mhm.
revelations and things open up to you that weren't there before.
Yeah.
So that's why I love the energy I get from my daughter and the younger people, because then I'm like able to get it from their perspective.
Right.
And
Right.
And really understand it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I really about this generation. I mean, there a lot of their ways are crazy, and I think every generation thinks that about the one behind
Right,
it.
yeah.
But one thing I can say about this generation, and my sister and I talk about it a lot, is they are in touch with their emotions, not afraid to express themselves. They have no problem saying what they like. They don't
really
like.
don't.
They, don't have a problem with counseling.
Mhm.
They don't have and I just love that, because I don't think that's something that we really
No,
had
not
at
at
all.
all. Not at all.
Me and my friends definitely talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like going to get counseling,
Mhm.
breaking generational curses,
Mhm.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and they don't mind, and it's like, and they're just unapologetically who they are, and it's take it or leave it. But I love that. I wish I could have. I mean, that's definitely me now. But I'm like, dang, if I would have had
right,
at
you
that
could've
age,
had that
right,
back then.
gosh, I'm like, I would have been so much farther along, just mentally. If I would have been able to feel like I had that type of outlet and release, and could,
I think I posted that one day on Facebook. What would you tell your, did I say 20
something
25 years
Oh,
old?
yeah. That's a good one.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. That's not the subject, but let's say that. So what
would you tell
yourself?
What age are y'all going to?
Let's
What-
say
Well,
Like,
what you told
Yeah.
yourself yesterday?
5 years old when she's
Yeah, what you
5.
told your
let's say 21.
Yeah, okay. What would
21.
you tell your 21-year-old self? Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So much.
Right.
First thing would be stop.
You're going the wrong direction.
This ain't what you want.
Right.
That's what I would have told myself.
Right.
No, I mean, I definitely would have told myself, number one, that you're enough. You are enough,
Ooh,
just
I love
how
that.
you
Yeah,
are.
I love that.
You're enough, and it definitely gets better. But the stop part is not a joke.
No, like
Yeah.
I need to do that. You're going that.
There is so much stuff I would put the brakes on.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely. But yeah, just you're enough, because I struggled with that for so long, just feeling like I was.
But it's so
not
crazy
enough.
because we met when we were so young, but I always admired your strength, and you look at it differently. But I used to be like, oh, I wish I could be like Stacy, man. And like we would be somewhere, something would happen, and Stacy, oh no, we're not. This is not. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah, and it's so funny because everybody sees me as that way. Everybody sees me as being so confident.
Yeah.
And so whatever. And it's like, but I did what I felt like I needed to do to survive.
It was a survival.
Yes.
thing.
But I was never comfortable. Like, people would probably describe me as confrontational. I am the most non-confrontational person.
Right.
By the time I'm confronting, this has been eating me up
For a minute.
forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I am
Yeah.
really a fight or flight person, and I will just like, if I don't say anything, it didn't happen.
Right.
I have to deal with it. And people would not realize, even to this day, I'm shy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a person who is just going to insert myself. I'm not outgoing, but when I feel comfortable,
Then you can be.
but for me,
Yourself.
just to go and introduce myself, like, my coach Tommy, who y'all know I talk about him all the time, and then my husband Wallace, when we're at events and stuff and they're there to support me, to connect me with different people, it's like pulling teeth. They're like, you need to go over there and talk to them.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, can you just at least introduce me?
Right.
Whatever. I mean, and that's like yesterday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm still like that. So,
Yeah.
but I always had this thing about, self-preservation. So I didn't want anybody to know that. So the person that stepped out was not really who was inside. So,
Right.
yeah. What would you tell your 21-year-old
I
self?
think I would tell my 21-year-old self that it's okay not to be okay.
Mhm.
You know, you get in the mode of always being strong, whether it's for yourself, whether it's for someone else. And then other people start relying on the fact that, oh, well, they can take it, they're strong, or they always bounce back, or I don't even see that they didn't not bounce at all. You know what I mean? Forget bouncing back, they didn't miss a beat, but it's okay to not be okay. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And it's not a sign of a weakness.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
something I struggle with a
Yeah.
lot, which is
Yeah.
what forced me kind of be out there, because I never wanted anybody to think I was weak. Because
Yeah.
I felt
Same.
weak.
Yeah.
So I'm
yeah.
like, but I don't need anybody else to think.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
That's
So what would you
so
tell your
true.
21-year-old self, Veronica?
Keep fighting. I went through a lot, and like you said, stop. I don't know. I needed to go through those things to evolve to who I am.
Mm-hmm.
But going through them, I needed to tell my 21-year-old self, you're enough.
Mm-hmm.
Keep fighting, because this we're going to come out of, and we're going to come out of better.
Right.
A lot of times what happened as I was going through, I would get derailed, or, the demons would come in and be telling me, you can't do this. You're not. So then I would quit on myself and quit on my
Right.
dreams and try to shift.
Mhm.
But just keep fighting, go through, kick the wall in. It's
Right.
okay.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's what, yeah.
So, Iman, what would you tell your 5-year-old self?
No,
My
Yeah,
21-year-old.
She's
self.
30 now. Yeah, she's 30 now.
Right, right.
Yeah, 21 is good for you. Yeah.
I would tell my 21-year-old self, don't overanalyze it.
Mm.
Like, don't overanalyze it. Just go for it.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it. Just keep going. Try that. Do that. Keep going.
Yeah.
Right.
Travel there. Go there. Don't ask no questions.
Let's go.
Yes, just
Yeah,
go.
No,
I like
right.
that.
Just go.
Me too.
I like that.
Me
Yeah.
too, because sometimes we talk ourselves out of
Out of-
situations,
Oh, my
goodness.
opportunity,
Mhm.
experiences, because we're like, okay, but what if it rains? Well, do
Right.
I have an umbrella? Okay,
Right.
so what if they say no? But what if they say yes? You know what I mean? So we're overanalyzing.
Right.
stuff.
That's
Do what?
something I always do. I still
The
try to
chair?
stop myself.
Yeah, that's your whole thing. Yeah.
This one?
But that's the thing, though, the overanalyzing. Our producer is very, very picky about it. But yeah, that overanalyzing thing is like, where is the just so what?
Yeah.
I think
It doesn't work. Okay.
Yeah,
You tried it.
yeah. So if it rains and I don't have an umbrella, what will happen? I'll
Yeah.
be wet.
Yeah.
Been wet before.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Nothing is
Pretty
not
much.
the end of the world.
Talk
Yeah.
yourself out of
Yeah.
opportunities,
Exactly.
experiences.
Or like
Mhm.
we were talking about earlier, though, that fear of failure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which
Yeah.
that's another, so what? Who cares if you
Yeah.
fail? What does that even mean? That just means, okay, I have to do it differently.
Right.
It's a learning experience. We were talking about fail forward. You
Yeah.
failed. Okay,
Yeah.
good. You get that out the way and you keep it moving. But it's just that fear. And I think a lot of times when we're having those thoughts, we can handle it, but it's more like, what is everybody going to say?
Exactly.
I stepped out and I said I was going to do
Everybody
this.
else is gonna
And what's
think.
everybody going to say?
Mhm.
I think that even keeps us in relationships.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
You don't want to get a divorce or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm done with this, but I don't want to get a divorce because what's everybody going to think or
Mhm.
whatever. When it's really,
What is it matter?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
for some reason you
Who
feel
are
like you
they?
have to go explain to everybody else why you're doing whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
I don't owe anyone an explanation.
right.
Yeah.
I owe this sanity an
Yeah.
explanation.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think we all crave a certain amount of validation.
Oh,
We
of
do.
course, it's
We
human
do.
nature.
Yeah, and you just kind of want to know, like somebody else tell me that it's okay.
Yeah,
I'm
that
not
would-
crazy.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then,
Mhm.
but sometimes you don't have that person,
Yeah.
so you have to just trust your gut. What would you tell your 21-year-old self, Jill?
That it's okay to let other people take care of you.
Mm.
And you don't always have to take care of everybody
Yeah,
else.
that's
Mhm.
huge.
Because
That's
I'm
huge for me.
Always
Yeah.
taking care of everybody else. And I
Mhm.
always put me on the back burner.
Mhm.
Always. And I would tell my 21-year-old self, you don't have to make everybody happy.
Mhm.
You need some happiness.
Mhm.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That
So-
is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. How about you,
Wow.
Vonda? What would you tell your 21-year-old self?
not to doubt myself,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because I think, well, if I go into too deep, but you know, when you're a darker skinned
Mm-hmm.
Black woman, you are faced with a lot of biases from people,
Mm-hmm.
and I always felt
Yeah.
that from growing up. And I used to just be like, kind of like my daughter, doubt myself a lot. So I think that I would always rethink everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if I would not have done that back then, and I would have been confident about who I really was, I'd probably be so much further than I am today.
Yeah. Yeah. And we say that, but that's kind of like we were telling him on to yesterday. Oh, excuse me. About the being further and doubting stuff. And it's like, and again, that's human nature. We doubt ourselves. And then it's like, and even if we wouldn't have doubted ourselves in this thing,
It would have been.
we would have doubted ourselves in
Yeah.
something else. You
Yeah.
know, it's always that, what do they say? Woulda, coulda, shoulda, coulda,
Right,
shoulda,
right.
whatever. And it's like, you know, but it's a shame that it has to be that way. But then when
Yeah.
you do get more mature, you
Mhm.
realize, like you were saying, that it's all a part of the journey
The journey
and where
is
you are.
growth.
And there's no such thing
Mhm.
as a perfect journey.
Mhm.
Right,
You know,
right.
it's always
Yeah.
going to be the ups and the downs. I just hate that for Black women, especially, we are up against so much.
A lot of
Mhm.
different things.
And then we're so hard on ourselves at the
Mhm.
same
That's what I was
time.
gonna say. We're hard on ourselves.
Yes, we are
Mhm.
so hard on ourselves. And it's like, and everybody else, and it's literally like, everybody else is hard on Black women. in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
And then we're hard on
know.
ourselves.
And you know, of
Mhm.
course, I'm
Mhm.
speaking generally, and I know it's not everybody, but I'm just saying we have problems with other women of different races
Yep.
and ethnicities because everybody thinks that they're better than the Black woman.
Mhm.
And so
And
it's
Malcolm
like, and that's why I
Black
love
woman is the
my
most
tribe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
what is
Yeah,
it?
what is it? Black women are the most
underserved.
Underserved.
most
Mhm.
disrespected, everything.
Mhm.
And so it's just like, that's why it's so important to have this, because nobody understands that struggle like we do. I mean, and it's hard. And then the whole thing about the angry Black woman, we can't even
Yeah.
assert ourselves and
Mhm.
stand
I
up
hear
for
it all
ourselves.
the time.
Oh my gosh. It's like everybody can say and feel and do whatever.
But
but
the minute
us.
we
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh.
You
had
gotta
this
watch how you
conversation
say
with so
when you
many
say
different
Yeah.
people.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
That's the
You're
assumption.
definitely angry very easily.
If you're being assertive, you're being angry.
Right.
Right, or you're
Why
ghetto.
are you acting
Yeah.
like
You
that?
ratchet.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. My last physical altercation was that exact thing. So I was sitting at a restaurant, a patio restaurant, with some girlfriends, and we had been talking about the fact that we don't like when people use the word bitch as a term of endearment.
Right.
You know, so I'm not up with the what up, bitch. You know, we were just
Right.
talking about that and just having that conversation. Well, we talked about it, and I was leaving them to go somewhere else. So I went to go use the restroom before I got on the road to do. So in the meantime, some guys had come up to the table who I didn't know from Adam, like they weren't there when I left.
Right.
But when I came back, the guys were at the table. And so I was just like, hey, how you doing? Whatever. And then joking with my friends about what we were talking about. I said, well, I'm gonna see y'all bitches later. You know, just messing with them, inside joke. And this guy was like, oh, Shaniqua.
Why did he say that?
Next thing I know, wrought iron chair up to the bug. Then my one
Like, you
friend
wanted
said, check
Shaniqua.
please. And the other one grabs me. And it was so funny when we went back to the restaurant because the manager came out, like it was a whole thing. And I, you know, and I hated the fact that now I've given him
Mhm.
what he was, but it just caught me off guard. It's like, you don't even know me. And then I guess I was upset because I felt like I kind of put myself in that position, which I really didn't. I didn't deserve that. But I'm like, and this dude really thinks I talk like that.
Right,
Like, that's
right,
not
right.
how I talk. I'm talking to them. We were just having the conversation. And like, y'all know, I ain't never called y'all that, you know, not in anger or joking. That's not exactly.
But why
He
you
had
why
no
did you
idea.
have no idea?
So that's what upset me too, because I'm like, he's calling me that because evidently he feels like Shaniqua or whatever, that's ghetto or something. But it's like, I felt like, and that's not even how I talk. But even if I did, he didn't have the right. But, and it was a white guy. So yeah, and I should have led with that. So that made it even worse. First of all, you're a man, sir, mister. Why are you even coming at me at all?
Yeah.
And second of all, you're a white man. And to use that, and which to me, I don't even, there's nothing wrong with the name Shaniqua. And I hate that we do that too. That's, you know, that's a ghetto name, black names. No. Yeah, and I my friend is our name. Like, it's a beautiful name, and I hate that we do that. Like,
But
what makes
that's definitely could be another conversation.
right? Yeah, what
Yeah.
makes Melissa more
Any
acceptable than
different than,
Shaniqua? No,
yes.
you know. But anyway, like I told y'all, the conversations will go.
Mhm.
But that's why I appreciate this so much, because
Mhm.
people outside of our circle, and I mean circle of Black women,
Mm-hmm.
Need
just
to
feel
hear
like they
it,
can
and
treat
they
us
need to
any
understand
kind
that
of
they
way.
can't talk to us.
Yeah.
anymore.
Right.
The fact that he felt comfortable enough to say it.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean,
Right.
and just seeing me for the first time and only for
Yeah,
5
don't even know
seconds.
at all.
Right.
Yes,
Mhm.
and he felt comfortable. And I truly believe it's because I'm a Black woman,
Of
and you can
course.
say and do
Of
whatever
course.
you want.
Mhm.
to
They
Black
feel that
women.
they can. I
Mhm.
get that on a regular basis
Oh,
as a
I've
manager.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
and when they come in and someone says, you know, I want to see the manager, and I'm the manager, they're like, well, can I speak to the other? Well, I am the manager of this
Right.
whole establishment.
Yeah.
You're going to need to go through me, not nobody else. And they're just like, you know, I get it all the time. And I think that's what brings on that whole angry woman persona, Black woman persona, because then I'm like, listen, let me let you know something right here.
But that's the thing.
Because
Too.
I
Why
have
are we allowed to be angry? I mean, everybody
Why
gets
can't they be
angry every
angry?
once in a while. So that's what I don't understand either. But no, am I just walking around angry all day, every day?
Right.
No.
Right.
But if I am angry, I'm allowed to be angry.
Right.
You know, it's like
Something brought it on.
Mhm.
exactly. Exactly. And the
Right.
whole thing, like, as soon as we show anything, so it's another one at a restaurant. And I was asking to change something about my order. And it was a restaurant that Wallace and I frequent, like, every week. We're at this restaurant. And it was a different waitress this time, because we used to have our regular waitress, Shay. She knew what was going
Right.
on. And so it was a different girl. And I'm telling her. And so she was like, no, I don't think we can do that. But you can do this, this, and this. So what she was telling me I could do was actually going to give me way more food than I wanted. And it was going to cost like 2 or 3 times more than I wanted to pay. So I said, just like thinking out loud, looking what she said. No, I said, I'm not going to do that. That would be stupid. And I'm not even talking to her, but I'm just saying for me. So, and I'm not going to give her a hard time, even though I knew I could do what I wanted to do. It wasn't even worth it. I said, so never mind. Just, you know, do this and it'll be fine. Next thing we know, the manager's at the table. She didn't even want to wait on us anymore. Went in there and told him that I was angry and upset because I wanted her to do, and he knew us, you know, because again, we're there all the time. He always comes to our table and talks to us. And he was like, hey, you know, what's going on? She came in and she's new. So she just asked me if I would continue to serve y'all because she said you were upset and angry because we couldn't do it. I was like, I
Never even gave her that indication.
Right.
I just said,
That
don't worry.
temperature
and she
didn't go
never,
up.
right. And like I said, and I knew I could do what I wanted to do, but I'm having, you're new. I'm not even going to do that to you.
Put
So,
you through all of that.
yeah, and she never came back. And I'm
Wow.
like, really?
Yeah.
Really? And I was glad at least that we did have a rapport with the manager, because again, I'm feeling like I just don't want that to be what's
What
the
they
narrative.
are.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So
Mhm.
y'all, what y'all ever had, you said at work. So what about
All the time
anybody
at work.
else experiences
Every
with
day.
that in the public with the whole angry Black woman thing?
Well, I've been kicked out of the YMCA, but that's a whole nother story. Legally can never go back.
Yeah.
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 Oh,
but
okay, we got time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
You
do.
have enough.
No, but you know what? The YMCA owes me an apology. So no, they do. They
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Honestly. So it was one Sunday, and I believed in going to exercise, and I would never take the kids with me. But this particular Sunday, I decided I was going to take the kids with me, and we were going to go, and the kids were going to swim. So I see Karen swimming in the water.
I'm not caring.
I see her, and I'm in a predominantly white YMCA. I see her, and my daughters are telling me, Mommy, she keeps looking up. Oh, don't pay her no attention. Don't pay her no attention. YMCA closes at 5 o'clock. So I say, okay, let's get out of the water and go back to the house. So when we get out of the water to go get dressed, it's crowded in the dressing room. So we split up. I go into the adult room and the kids go into the family room because we can't get our clothes on. There's too many people. The lady and my kids are picking at each other, and one doesn't hold the door for the other one. So the lady was like, well, you could say, excuse me. So here go Courtney, the oldest one. Oh, I'm going to get my mama. So she comes in there. Now Mama Bear goes in there and was like, is somebody, and this lady is taller than me. Y'all know I got height restrictions. So she's taller than me. And I said, is somebody here, talking to my children? And before I know it, this lady came out of East Tibet somewhere and slapped I literally felt my body shift.
Oh no.
Okay, know that I can't go back to the YMCA no more though.
Oh,
When I say I
wow.
whooped her tail from
Oh,
one
my
end of the
goodness.
room,
This is a white
to-
woman?
it was a white woman. I whooped her tail, but the next thing I know, we're sitting on a bench, me and the kids, and I'm like, "Don't move, they're gonna lock us up, y'all. They're gonna lock us
Oh
up.
my
They're gonna." I knew I was going to jail because she laying on a stretcher.
No, she didn't fell off.
she
She was bold enough to
Yo,
first
yo,
though.
she-
So I
When
don't.
I say she smacked me, like I couldn't even get my
And that's the thing too, a smack
Yeah.
from a white woman.
right, and I hadn't even finished my
girl.
whole sentence, and she
After
smacked
you
me.
just coming in there asking about who said something to your child.
Oh,
I know
I
you
can
said-
imagine.
Red, just
Right.
red.
I was completely red. And the next thing I knew, now I'm being called into the board with the YMCA, but there ain't no white woman here. It's just me
Oh,
can't never come back.
wow.
I'm like,
Wow.
but I was so hurt because again, it was a Sunday. Keep in mind, I had just come from church. I felt like I was hurt. I cried for weeks. I cried for weeks because first of all, you had made me go back to somebody I thought I never would be again.
Mhm.
But you only did that because we were the black people at the pool.
Yes.
And it was just so unfair.
Yeah.
But I can't never go back to the YMCA.
Oh,
I mean, and I'm okay with it.
But it's
temporary.
They owe me an apology.
Temporary insanity.
And then your
Oh,
children
gosh.
see that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
for your
kids,
children to
literally.
see that. Yeah.
And then I was like, don't call your daddy because we really going to jail. he got height restrictions too. So, when we had these height restrictions, we think we, I didn't want to have to take the whole YMCA.
Oh my gosh. But that's
Wow.
the thing. It's like we are just disposable.
Mhm,
You
mhm.
know, it's just like
Very
no
easily.
one cares about the black woman
Right.
at all. And if we are angry, could you see why? Maybe
Right,
You know,
right,
because
right.
people are calling us out of our names, smacking us,
Mhm.
kicking us out, all the things.
Mhm.
Don't want to respect us at all. So maybe we have a little bit of a reason.
Mhm.
to be
Right,
upset.
Just a little bit. Just a little
Is that now, Iman? You're of the other generation. Is that an issue with y'all too?
I'm not in a lot other than like work where I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I'm not getting where I feel like I should get. I
Mhm.
feel like that's maybe because I'm black and a woman. But
Mhm.
other than that, it's the only place where it's in my face.
Mhm.
Like other than that, it's kind of small stuff throughout the days and stuff. But I will say one thing I did think about is when you're walking in the street and people say that, oh, smile.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, girl.
I
Right.
wasn't even mad, just but I'm about to be mad.
Yeah.
Let me be.
Right.
Like, why
Yeah,
can't we
like-
just have a straight
Right.
face?
I
Right.
maybe I was
We'll be
thinking about
okay.
I
something.
wasn't even angry at the moment. But now,
Yeah. Everybody doesn't just walk around with a big
I
smile.
had
Yeah,
that
right.
multiple
I've
Yes.
heard that.
Oh, that was the story of my life. As a matter of fact, that's one of the first things Wallace ever said to me.
Really?
Yeah, that was one of the
Why
first
don't
things
you
he ever
smile?
he said, "You never smile," and I was the same way. Like, and you won't see it.
Yeah,
How about that?
That's
You
not
know?
gonna help me.
Yeah, and my thing is, why don't you make me smile? Because that didn't.
Make a joke.
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
Are
right.
you funny? Are you cute? What? I mean, because I
You
didn't
could just be
have
in
a
line in the
So-
store, somebody come from behind you from the
Yeah.
side, somebody just like, you should smile.
It's so
It's
crazy
like,
now
it's
because with COVID,
Right.
we have to wear masks
Yeah.
all day, every day.
Mhm.
So now the thing is, because they have a sign up that says there's a smile behind this mask.
Mhm.
And so now that's all we hear all the time. Are you smiling behind that mask? And I just be like, yeah, I'm smiling behind this. I'm like, I'm so glad I got this mask on because you really knew what I was thinking right now.
Yeah.
But that's
But I
what
think
it
that's
is.
also a misjudgment though, because that's you just seeing black women as okay, she has to be angrier.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Automatic.
She couldn't just be
Automatic.
walking through the street.
Yeah.
wanting to
Yeah, I'm
a
just
latte.
thinking.
You know, like,
Right.
you just-
Right, because to me, isn't it just kind of crazy to just
all day. I would think something was wrong with it. That's not crazy.
Looking just like the
All
Joker.
day.
And the Joker was crazy.
right?
But you wanted that smile.
Yeah, I don't.
Crazy.
I have no idea
And
why
then I
people
felt
do
bad
that.
though, because I don't know if you know about the other guy. What's his name? Kevin Samuels. Have you ever seen his videos where he tell black women what they should be doing to get a high value man? Have
y'all seen
that?
Oh,
Yeah.
the Jackson dude who was just shooting on
Samuels.
the
No.
side.
This guy's called
Because he
Kevin
mentioned that
Samuels.
one of his
Oh
things. He was
my
like,
God.
if
Yes,
that's
I
such an
seen
issue
him.
with black women, we can't ask y'all to smile. That's really that's the generation we're in. We're talking about. I was like, dang, that's exactly how I feel though. So maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
definitely had a
He
whole
always
segment
has
on
a whole
that.
bunch of stuff about black women, and I'm so confused.
Like,
I'm
you
like,
can't smile.
Didn't he interview a woman and he asked her what she thought herself was, and she said I was a 10.
Her
And
her
he-
number.
And he was like, no, you're not.
No,
Yeah.
she said she's another number, and he said, no, you're not that number. It was like 7. You can't be 7.
Right.
You can't pick 7.
But I thought he
Like
was
six.
like a 3, and I didn't think that he liked my kind anyway.
Right.
So I'm not sure
Well,
why he
said
felt to
Beyonce
judge
was an
her.
8.
Right.
So
I'm not sure
that's
why
the
he.
scale.
Yeah,
Wow.
the scale is completely broken and all.
Like, okay.
But I think the flip side of that is, even though he's bashing women, he probably has a large following.
Oh, he does.
And it's probably predominantly women, which
He
is
does.
sad in
That's so
itself.
scary.
You know what I
Supporting
mean?
him, yeah.
You're
But that-
supporting him, even if it's just, let me see what this fool is saying to that.
That's
Right.
that's
Yeah,
what
I
I think
know
that's
that.
more
the
what
most
it
of
is.
it is.
Yeah.
People, because he's saying funny stuff, people like, oh, this is hilarious. But
Yeah.
he's doing all this mostly black.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
I think they're
mostly
also
all
angry
women.
and they want to be able to. You be like, no, he didn't say this. So you go looking to
Right,
find
right.
out,
I need to
but
hear
you don't
that.
understand. You're giving them ratings, and
Right, and
all that.
sponsorships and
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah.
That's true.
So what do y'all think? I want to bring, like, we are way off the topic.
Mhm.
Well, not really though. What is your take on when you hear other women say, I don't do women? I can't
don't
be
like
friends
that.
with women.
I don't either.
Yeah.
No.
I don't like
I've
that
heard
either, but
that
I
a
think
lot
it's
of
more
times,
about that
too.
person.
I've heard
Where
a
they
lot
say,
of
oh,
women say
all
that.
of my friends are men
Yeah.
because I don't
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
women. You know what I mean?
I can't be
Yeah.
friends with women, and they say stuff like women are messy, women are
Yeah.
catty, and I'm like, you're a woman.
Mhm.
Like, how can
Yeah.
you be
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
down?
And it's maybe
On-
their experience that they've had with women, right?
Yeah.
They don't give anybody else another try,
chance.
right?
Right, but it
So
was
they might have
probably
had
that
a-
one
yeah,
woman, right?
Yeah.
that gave them that bad experience that they
Mhm.
trusted.
Yeah.
You know, you can see how they might say that if they had a bad experience, but you're not giving somebody else a chance.
Right. Or it could be
Go ahead.
that you're just not a good friend.
Yeah, maybe
Right.
You don't know how to be a
Right.
good friend.
Mhm.
Right.
And
Mhm.
men sometimes, well,
Right.
first of all, they could, okay, I don't like old dude or whatever, but they are still going to exist together in the same room.
Mhm.
Sometimes we won't.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? So yeah, you feel more comfortable because they haven't called you out on your crap.
Exactly.
Right.
But maybe you were not the good friend.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
I just hate it too, like even with the chances, because it's like
Mm.
everybody's different. All experiences are different. But I just feel like, again, back to the whole Black women thing, we're disposable. So even amongst ourselves sometimes, so you have a bad experience with one Black woman. So now I don't do women. But I bet you went to a restaurant before and didn't like the food, but you still go out and eat.
Yeah.
You found another
Right.
restaurant.
Right.
I'm sure that you went
good
on a whatever, and
Yeah.
but you just found another one. But again, I just feel like we're so disposable, so it's easy, and then just to lump us all together.
Mhm.
Like, I don't get it, and I think that sometimes people just think that's like kind of cool to say,
Yeah.
like, no,
Yeah.
it makes
They don't
you sound
realize
like
it
an
sounds
idiot to
ignorant.
me. And it's
Yeah.
also, in my
If you're
opinion,
a
like I said,
Black
it's
woman.
self-loathing.
That's
Yeah,
that's
it is.
self-hate.
Yeah.
I was just about
Yeah.
to say that you're a Black
Yeah.
woman that you hate.
Or
Yeah.
not given, whether Black or white, but in our case, a Black woman another opportunity or work for the friendship. However, that guy who's treating you like crap,
Mhm. Right.
Mhm.
Yes.
stand by my man.
Right.
You're giving him a zillion
Yeah.
chances.
Yeah, the one
But
who's
you
dropping
hold-
you off at work in your car.
Exactly, and come pick you
Not
up
Jody.
late.
Not Jody.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, maybe more. Yes,
And
maybe
come pick you
more.
up.
Yeah.
Right, come pick you up late. But to your girlfriend, you hold her to a fire that no one will be able to stand up to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Like you say,
yeah, it's
Adrian,
interesting.
maybe they can't be a freak.
Yeah.
Maybe
yeah.
they're the problem.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like
yeah.
if they don't do women probably don't do them.
That's it.
Right.
That's it. That's it.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't see
yeah.
a line of friends banging down your
Yeah,
door.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
please come on,
Exactly.
play.
Right.
Right. And I thank you all for watching. I am not ignoring my Lifer Tribe. I see the numbers. I see y'all on there. And feel free to engage, make comments, because we know that we are not alone in these experiences. I am going to monitor my comments. I want to say, hey, what's up, Vince? What's up, KC? I see you guys are watching. My sister is still on here, so I appreciate y'all. We just get into this conversation and it gets good. And it's just, I'm not ignoring you guys at all. So please feel free to share any of your experiences. Give us the thumbs up, the likes, hit me with the hashtag Lifer, because you guys are the reason why we do this. So I appreciate you so much.
Well, even
And
if
if
you
I
disagree.
didn't, yeah, even if you disagree,
Right,
even if you
right.
think we crazy, we can take it. Oh, Casey said, I am enjoying this. And I see those thumbs and those hearts. Thank you so much, Casey. Yeah, it's just real talk about real things, that we experience. And I love the way the conversation is shifting. So I'm going to bring up another thing about us Black women.
Oh,
How about us having to get and in some cases, I guess legal permission to wear our hair natural.
Yeah.
How about
Yeah.
that? How about us being told that our hair that God created, that grows out of our scalp the way that it is inappropriate? Where did that even come from? How can me being me the way I was born be inappropriate?
Right.
At work, because there's like unnatural hair colors, or at my job,
Yeah.
you can't dye your hair purple.
But I can
Like-
see you maybe not being able to dye your hair purple, even though I still think we should have some way to be able to be creative and expressive. But nobody's hair grows purple.
Right. Exactly.
So that's not a hair color. But
We're
the
just
way
talking
our
about your
hair
own
is,
texture, your
that's
own
our
hair.
hair.
Yeah.
And so they're saying in order for you to be appropriate, you
it
need
has to be
to
straight.
alter
Yeah.
and chemically treat or put
Mhm.
heat on or whatever to your hair. I had, and we're talking about self-hatred, I had an older Black woman rocking her TWA natural little fro tell me that as a first lady of a church, I did not need to be wearing my hair
Yeah.
natural with, and she said with that mesh just all up on top of your head. But she waited until I had straightened it one day. And so I had straightened it and she was like, "Oh, I'm so glad you straightened your hair. That is so much more appropriate because as a first lady, you do not need to be running around here with that mess just all up on top." Right.
Well, I'm going to say that a lot of the older generation, because of how they grew up and what they were told was defined as beauty, they feel that way. I've had conversations with my own mother about being natural and having my hair locked and things like that. And I always joke with her, now when the day come when I need to take care of you, you know your hair gonna get locked. You better not,
Right.
But I'm like, we've been told for so long that our natural hair is horrible and that we need to put, lye, dye, everything else and all of that. And I don't know, I had a self-awareness at a lot earlier age than a lot of other people where I just was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. And I would rock my fro and people would be like, that nappy head of your, and I would ignore it and I just kept going on my journey. But they grew up in a generation where they were told that and they believed that our natural hair, because it's maybe kinky curly or whatever, is not good. And I hated with my own daughter that she had her natural hair, I think up until maybe 5 or 6 years old, and I let someone tell me, you should just go ahead to make it more manageable. Just go ahead and put the baby perm in.
I was older. I don't think I got my first.
Maybe 8, 10, I don't know, but I just know that somebody said it to me, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. And I wish I would have never done that. But that older generation was taught that, a lot of them, and so that's why they hold fast to that stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And like for my mom, the problem was my mother has a not as curly of a curl pattern, so my mother has hair that is very manageable. She's never had to have a relaxer. All her sisters are the same way. I mean, she is like the epitome of wash and go. Like she washes it, it's just curly. So for her, when she had my sister and I, she just had no experience with this type of hair. Like when she washed our hair and it shrunk up, like she had never seen that before. She didn't know what to do. So she ended up getting us relaxers, or either, my dad would help her because my dad has sisters and their hair is more like us and he had seen his mom do it. So he would try to help. So she just didn't know what else. And so when we did start wearing our hair natural as adults, and she saw how it could be managed and we would put the stuff, our creams and potions. She's like, I had no idea y'all here would even do that. She was like, if I'd known, because, I've been getting a relaxer probably since I was 5 or 6 years old, because my mother just didn't know. And it's like, and I can't fault her for that because that was not her experience. And she could hook her hair up, and she used to do my aunt's hair, but they all had that same kind of hair. And so when we got older and was natural, she was like, if I would have known or had anybody, because again,
information.
Right. She didn't know. And so it was just, it is what it is. And I'm like, I'm just glad I did learn better. Casey was sharing something with us. She said that Casey she sells handbags and clothing and different stuff like that. And she is a beautiful Rwandan sister. I think I was talking to you about Casey the other day. I love Casey. She's one of my coaching clients. And she said that somebody had asked to speak to the business owner. She was dealing with a wholesaler. Somebody asked to speak with the business owner. And because she said that her wholesale prices were too high, and she wanted to speak with the CEO because she was just not believing it is her business. Like, no, I need to speak with the business owner. That's me.
That would be
Okay,
me.
well, I need the CEO.
I would live for moments like
Me too.
those are the moments I put on badge of honor. Moments like that's me.
Still me. Yeah, Casey is an awesome business owner. She has some great stuff. But yeah, that's the thing. It's just like they just can't believe that I'm the chick in charge.
Yeah. I am the chick in
No,
charge.
so that's what I love about Atlanta too, though. There's so many Black women in high positions,
Mhm.
like excellence around. It gets you every time you wake up. You're like, oh, I gotta get some money somehow. I gotta keep going. It motivates you even walking around, riding around.
Yeah, I love that too. And we are, I mean, it's been a long, hard, slow journey. But I finally feel like I can say, because for years I would say I just don't see any progression. But we're getting there.
Yeah.
You know, I see
see
some progression. I see some eyes opening. Unfortunately, I feel like a lot of horrible things have had to happen for us to even get where we are. And don't get me wrong, because we're still a long way from where we deserve to be. But it's just, I guess, at least a little bit hopeful to see that there is change. But it's just, I cringe to think that we're still fighting some of the same battles that my great grandmother was fighting.
Do you, I don't know if it's a deep question, but do you guys believe in the EG? Black women being the EG?
Well, yes, I do.
What did she say?
The
Yeah.
Eve
Yeah.
yeah.
The root of everything?
Yeah.
I do.
I truly believe that. And I think that, you know,
Did
in some
everybody
way,
hear her
somehow. No, I don't know. You're whispering.
Because it was in my ear.
I didn't
You
want to
wasn't
say it. I didn't
sure.
want
No,
to
it's okay.
ensure
No.
how everybody
No,
felt on that. But
Well, that's what it's about, you know,
Yeah.
different opinions.
I believe it.
Casey said when that happened to her, she was cracking up.
Ate it up.
Yeah, like,
Love
so
that.
yeah, if you wanted to speak to a different business owner, you're gonna have to go to a different business because it's me. But no, I believe that Black women, I believe that we
civilization.
And the thing is, Wallace and I were talking about this not too long ago. We went to an Egyptian exhibition and saw all the pyramids and you can see in the features that those are definitely people of color. What they're not is white people for sure. And so when you think about where creation began and, you know, even the streets that Jesus walked in where he is, no way were those white people. And then you also can see on those different pharaohs and stuff where at some point, and Wallace knows, they took off the noses because that was the distinct feature.
I never heard
So if you look at those, you see them,
Oh.
and it went through, and I don't know my history like that. Babe, what was it? The Romans or whatever who came through, whatever came through. And, you know, and we built all that stuff. And then when they came and took over, instead of just tearing them down, because of course they were beautiful, whatever, they took off the
I
noses.
never knew that's why I know this.
And I was wondering when we were going through that exhibit, I'm looking at things and it's, you know, like we were like one of the only Black people there. And it's all these white people and they get their kids and they're looking, which is great. But I'm like, I wonder what kind of people they think this is that they're looking at. Like, are they that interested? Because I wanted to tell everybody, like, you know, they Black. Right? You know, I know when I go to they Black, right?
I think I got an argument with a teacher in high school about that. Egypt being in Africa.
Yeah.
She tried to argue with me that Egypt wasn't Africa.
Oh, my, a teacher? Oh
In
my
high
gosh.
school.
Okay.
She tried to argue with me that Egypt
Oh
wasn't
my
Africa.
gosh. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
And what class you teaching, sir?
It was a woman, a white woman.
Wow.
She was teaching. I don't know what she was teaching. She wasn't my personal teacher. She heard me and I think a history teacher having a conversation. She was like, "Yeah, but that's not where." Like, with very serious. Like, was going willing to fight on it. And I'm like, "How did you not know that?"
Well, that's something KC and I talk about too. With her being from Africa, it amazes her how many people think that Africa is a country, and she's like, Africa is not a country, it's a whole continent. And she's always having to school people. Because like people ask her where she's from and she'll say Rwanda or whatever. They're like, what country is that in? Is that in Africa? And she's like, well, it is, but Africa's not a country. So people just, I mean, and I don't see any problem in, you know, correcting that kind of stuff. It's like, no, you need to know. So
I would love to go to
Oh my
I would
gosh.
never leave though. If I went,
Yeah.
stay.
And I wanted to go with her. She's
I go to
going in
Afghanistan.
July,
Oh,
but
really?
it's like I can't go and stay like 10 weeks. So
They go for like a lot.
yeah,
Right.
and
Well,
see,
see,
and my
I
thing
can't go for a
is,
weekend.
I
Right.
could go and just stay for a week, but my thing is, and you know, and she just stay, but I just can't do that long flight by myself.
Mhm.
You know, that's a very long flight. So I'm like, no,
Yeah.
if I go with her, I got to go with you
And come back.
you can go back tomorrow.
Right.
But I do want to do that kind of travel.
yeah.
I would love to do
Yeah,
that.
and then she speaks so many languages. Look, now I'm making it the Casey show. Look, I'm looking down here like she can see me. You up there? I'm making it the Casey show. She is so smart. Yeah, she speaks several different languages. Just
Okay.
and awesome. And she's a young woman. She's a young woman. Yeah, she in your group.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, awesome.
Let's
Well,
go,
ladies,
Casey.
this has been wonderful.
Yes.
This has been
Yes.
wonderful. I've really enjoyed it. I think
Me too.
we talked about some really good
Good stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
real
good stuff. Good stuff. So I appreciate all of you for tuning in. I will be back on my regular schedule back on Monday. I didn't come on last Monday in observance of Memorial Day, but whenever I get the opportunity to jump in with my girls, even if it's not on schedule, I'm not going to pass up that opportunity. So I thank all of you for watching, tuning in. Please continue to like, share, comment. I will be going back and visiting comments. And you know to check out your girl, Stae Hall, on all social media at Stae Hall. And then you can also check out the website at staehall.com. I love you guys to bits and pieces. You know what I always say. It is very, very important to love one another, but never stop living your life. LYFE. Love yourself first explicitly.
Yes.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Yeah, let's take
That
this.
was fun.